So week 5 of the NFL season is here, and it has the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to Carolina to take on the Carolina Panthers, who have been kind of a surprising team this year. They just suffered their first loss last week, and for the most part, they've been beating everybody on their schedule, whereas the Eagles, they've done the opposite. They had a hot start week 1, and they've been getting beat by everybody else on their schedule so far. So the big question is, do the Eagles actually have a chance of winning this game? Considering their past couple weeks, they really haven't shown much of anything. Defensively, they've been getting absolutely destroyed. And offensively, they seemed to show some life last week, but they still have a lot of issues with penalties and scoring in the red zone. However, I think Carolina is playing a bit over their heads right now. They're a very solid team. They don't really turn the football over, but they're a team that you can get pressure on. And if the Eagles can somehow generate a pass rush, they can go down to Carolina and steal this football game. Now, how can they do this? Well, I think part of the blueprint was shown last week against the Kansas City Chiefs. You have long drives, you hold on to the football, you get first downs, and you put up points. By controlling the time and possession, kind of what the Eagles were trying to do last week, they can keep their defense off the field and force Carolina to make every possession count. And when you do this, when the opponent feels like they have to make every possession count, they start pressing, and then they start making mistakes. This Carolina Panther offensive line has shown to do. Sam Darnold's been sacked quite a bit this season, especially last week where we actually did start seeing some turnovers. So if the Eagles can somehow generate a pass rush, this is a game where Josh Sweat, Fletcher Cox, they have to do something. This is the game where this should be their coming out party where they go to town on this Carolina offensive line. Whereas Javon Hargrave, he's already been doing it. They need to join Javon Hargrave in the sack party because Hargrave has 5 sacks this season in 4 games. Fletcher Cox doesn't have anything. Josh Sweat has half a sack. We have a linebacker that has more sacks than Fletcher Cox and Derek Barnett. These guys have to get pressure this week. This is a perfect game in order for the defense to get right after 2 clunkers the past 2 weeks, go to Carolina, destroy their offensive line, and show us what this D-line is supposed to be the strength of this defense. Let's see it. I want to finally see these guys actually get pressure on the quarterback, force mistakes, and we actually force some turnovers. And by doing this is going to make the game a lot easier for our linebackers, they're really not that good. But if we can make the game easier for them by having the D-line disrupt the offensive line, they can go through and make plays. It'll make the game a lot easier for our secondary, which, to be fair, our secondary hasn't really been the problem this year for once. I mean, knock on wood. Watch, this is going to be the game they screw up. But for the most part, that secondary has shown up and done their job. So this is an opportunity for the Eagles to get right if they can actually do their job, don't have a ton of stupid penalties, and just do their job and play their game. Carolina has been very good this year, but they're probably playing a little over their head, and this is an opportunity for the Eagles to steal a game and kind of save their season a little bit. This is kind of a must-win for the Philadelphia Eagles right now. If they can win this game, they're at 2-3. They're right back in the thick of things. So hopefully, at least defensively, we can see a lot more. We can see some hope on the defensive side of football, because honestly, these first 4 weeks, there hasn't been much to really be happy about defensively besides, okay, you slowed down Atlanta and San Francisco. And then Dallas and the Chiefs did whatever they wanted against you. Hopefully this Carolina game, the Eagles defense can come in, show us what they can do, show us who they are, and really dominate this Carolina offensive line and make it a tough day for Sam Darnold. So enough rambling about the defense. Offensively, I feel like they have the blueprint of what they should be. I feel like this Kansas City Chief game, when they played that game, they went with that game plan. They kind of showed if this is what they should be. They should be a team that controls the time of possession. You move the football efficiently. You get first downs. All they have to do is actually finish these drives and score touchdowns instead of getting field goals. Last week, we saw Jalen Hurts play one of his best games as a pro. He was efficient moving the football. He hit his reads. He trusted his reads, and he made the plays. The biggest issue with the Eagles' offense right now is what the hell is going on with Miles Sanders? For whatever reason, Miles Sanders is not getting touches. He's not getting handed the football anymore. Some of those touches are going to Kenneth Gainwell. And it appears to be that this Eagles offense is so RPO-centric that there could be a lot of run plays being called, but because there's that pass option and the defense is showing the pass, that Jalen Hurts in the offense are reading his pass and they're taking advantage of the passing play, which I understand. I get it. It can be a decent way to move your offense, but you have to show you're actually willing to sit down and commit and run the football. You have to let this offensive line get some confidence, put their heads down, throw some guys on their back ends, and really dominate the line of scrimmage. And it's tough for them to do that when they have to constantly think and say, okay, is he passing? Is he running? I'm not sure. It's better I just run forward. And the next thing you know, we have an eligible man downfield, which that has been a constant penalty for this team for a good chunk of this year. And that happens when an RPO takes too long to develop. The other issue they've been having is scoring in the red zone. Now, most of the time they're calling plays in the red zone, they're too busy going east and west. They haven't really been trying to run the football or even just go straight up the field. You need to call some plays where you go right up the middle. I know Brandon Brooks is hurt. I know you're having issues with guards. Samuel is now out for the season. But Landon Dixon and Nate Herbig, you can run behind these guys. We still have Jason Kelce. Trust your offensive line. Trust these guys and let them show that you can't run up the middle. At least make the attempt. At least if you're making the attempt and if it's not working, then you can say at least we tried. But until then, I think you got to be able to run the football up the middle if you're going to score in the red zone. And the Eagles have not done that this season. And when they have done it, they did it against the Chiefs with Gainwell. He went up for 10 yards and scored the touchdown immediately. So if the Eagles can just go ahead and score in the red zone and stop these stupid penalties, they can win this football game. They can definitely win this football game. Now for my prediction. I'm going against my gut here. I'm going to say the Eagles win this football game. I don't know how they're going to do it. I'm not 100% sure how it will go down. I think the Eagles are going to hold on to the football. I think they're going to be able to get some pressure today. I think Carolina might come back down to earth a little bit, and that's going to help the Eagles get a win here today. Or not today, on Sunday. So I'm going to go with right now a final score of 24-17. And I'm going to have the Eagles going down and beating Carolina to get their second win of the season. All right, so now let's go for my picks of the week. My picks weren't too bad last week. I'll have the record on the screen here when I'm showing this back. But so now let's go on to week 5. So week 5, Thursday night, we start off with the Los Angeles Rams going to Seattle. Thursday night games are typically pretty tough for the road team, and Seattle's been kind of iffy this season. I feel like Seattle's going to come out and win this game. The Rams have dominated them recently, but it's a Thursday night game in Seattle. I think Russell Wilson's going to go ahead and go to work. He's going to have a good game. The offense is going to roll, and I think they're just going to be able to beat the Rams today. It's going to be tough for the Rams. Tough loss to the Cardinals. Now you got another rivalry game. I feel like it's going to be tough for them to get up again on a Thursday. So I'm going to go Seattle with a win here. So to start off with the Sunday games, we have the Jets playing Atlanta. This is kind of a toss-up game, though. The way the Jets played the Titans last week, they never gave up. They were in a tough spot. They kept fighting. They were able to pull it out. I'm going to say the Jets are going to beat the Falcons in this game. So next, we got the Patriots playing the Texans. I just feel New England's just a better team. Yeah, they lost to Tampa last week, but Mac Jones looked good. We're starting to see what this New England offense can be with Mac Jones running the helm. I think they're going to be a pretty damn good team. So I'm going to go Mac Jones and the Patriots are going to beat the Texans here. Next, we got the Detroit Lions at the Minnesota Vikings. I think this is the game where Detroit's just in a situation where they're just trying to figure out who they got and who they can build upon. Right now, I just think Minnesota's the better team. I say the Vikings will win this game. Next, we've got the Saints going to Washington. This is one of those iffy little matchups. I'm going to say Washington wins this game. I feel like their defense is starting to really come on. The Saints haven't really shown me too much with their offense and what they're trying to do. I think Washington gets a good win here. So I'm going to take Washington in that game. Next, we've got the Tennessee Titans playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think this is pretty easy. It's going to be Tennessee Titans. There's just so much drama and BS going on right now with the Jaguars. They're just a complete mess right now. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Titans in this game. Next, you got the Miami Dolphins playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think this is pretty cut and dry. Miami's trying to figure out what they can do with Jacoby Brissett. Not having Tua's hurting them. So I'm going Tampa easy in this game. Next, we've got the Packers taking on the Bengals. This is a little interesting little matchup. I do think the Packers are going to pull it out in the end, but I think the Bengals are going to give them a good little fight. I'm going to take the Packers in this game. Next, we've got the Broncos playing the Steelers. The Steelers have fallen off a cliff. Big Ben, he should have retired. He should have retired probably a couple years ago. The Broncos should be able to win this game pretty easily. They play mistake-free football, and they usually create turnovers. So I'd say Broncos will win this game. The Bears will take on the Oakland Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders. And I just feel like the Raiders are just a better team. They got beat by the Chargers. Chargers are a really good football team. The Bears got Justin Fields playing again. I just like this Raider team better than the Bears right now. So I'm going to take the Raiders. So now we got a really good matchup in the Cleveland Browns taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say the Chargers pull out a win here. They're playing at home. The Browns are going to give them a fight, but I just feel like that home cooking is going to give the Chargers the edge. Next, we got the New York Giants taking on the Dallas Cowboys, a classic NFC East matchup. The Giants, they got to win over the Saints. The Cowboys have just looked so good recently. They're hitting on all cylinders right now. I think Dallas demolishes them. So I'm going to take the Cowboys in that game. Next, we've got the 49ers taking on the undefeated Arizona Cardinals. Never thought I'd ever say the undefeated Arizona Cardinals. But it's going to be a good matchup. I'm going to say the Cardinals will beat the Niners in this game. Just whatever the Cardinals have done, it's worked out for them. They've been playing everybody good. They've been playing everybody tough. Right now, the Cardinals look like they're probably the best team in the NFL. So I'm going to take the Cardinals in this game. Next, we've got the Buffalo Bills taking on the Kansas City Chiefs in a nice little AFC matchup. I just feel like with the Chiefs being at home, I think they're going to somehow pull out this game. I like the Bills. I think they're really good. It's just with the Chiefs right now, they kind of need these wins more, so I think the Chiefs are going to pull it out here. And to wrap everything up on Monday night, we got the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Baltimore Ravens. I think Baltimore's just clearly a better team right now. They're playing a lot better. They're hitting on all cylinders. I'm going to say Baltimore will take care of the Colts pretty easily. So with that wraps up my picks for the week. If you like the content you're hearing right now, please hit a like and continue the conversation in the comment section below. With that, thank you again for listening to the Process YouTube channel. And with that, I hope you all have a nice day.